But if you in your heart, you really don't believe what this person said, right? So they said you're fat and ugly, right? That example. But you know that that's not true. You love your body, you're beautiful, you don't feel that. You're going to ignore this, and you're going to actually, with that compassion, you're going to look towards them and you're like, I feel sorry for you, really. I understand that, you know, you're projecting on me. You must have many insecurities. We're not going to get triggered. If you get triggered to whatever someone says to you, you're fat, or you're a cheater, or you're a liar, or you're a loser, it's because part of you believes that. And I always give you guys the same example, and I love the example. It's my raccoon example. If you're on the street and someone approaches you and looks at you and says to you, you're a raccoon, you're gonna look at this person and be like, are you crazy? Have you taken your meds today? I'm not a raccoon, I'm a human being, I'm a freaking person. What are you talking about? If to your very deep core you know that this is not true, you're going to look at this person like they're crazy. And it won't affect you. Trust me, it won't affect you. If it affects you, again, we go back to those triggers. It's because it exists within you, right? So yes, it's true that when we find our wholeness, when we find our true, authentic inner self, right? That peace within, things are not affecting us. But it doesn't mean that we consciously surround ourselves with these people. It's only natural to move away from people that are not on the same page as we are. And with that connecting to your tribe, I feel like this collective, it's like you're developing loving compassion and understanding towards others and what people do to you and how it influences you and maybe even how you influence them. But despite that, you also understand that there are certain people and certain energies that you don't want in your life, right? And you want to call in your tribe, call in people that will really see you and appreciate you. And when you will say something that's on your mind, they won't look at you like you're crazy, but they look at you like, oh my God, yeah, I think the same thing, right? Your tribe. We have release fear and we have inner child healing, which is really beautiful because, again, we're doing in 2025. So this means that 2025 year would be a year that maybe you faced some of your fears. I don't know why I'm hearing fear of loneliness, fear of not, being in a partnership. Maybe it's something that accompanied you on your journey. You had that fear that you're going to be on your own, that you're going to have no one. It's that conditioning thinking as well. So maybe there were certain fears in your life. You guys know what I always do. There are two baseline vibrations. It's fear and it's love, right? So every choice that we take, big choice, small choice, everyday choice, it comes either from fear or love, because it's either the easy choice or it's the right choice, right? And we've been through this with this collective in our past reading. I remember that. Maybe you've done some inner child healing as well. Maybe you started. I always say to you guys, when we start healing, when you come to me on shadow work session, we're going to start from the Holy Trinity: mother wound, father wound, inner child healing. We all have to do it. We all have to face it. We all have to stand in front of our inner child and give him, her, whatever they need. We all have to face the father wound and mother wound that we all have. And I do not care what anyone says. The amounts of times I say it to all my clients on an everyday basis, we all have it in a spectrum of obviously intensity, but we all have it. In order not to have it, you would have to have a divine feminine mother and a divine feminine father, masculine father in a divine union. So two higher soulmates or two twin souls in a union. If they're your parents, maybe I'll believe you that you don't have father wound and mother wound, right? But none of us is perfect, even if we are divines, right? So we usually struggle we usually have that wound on some level. So maybe you've been healing your inner child, you've been attending to your inner child. And we have connect to nature, number 67. There is a lot of energy of slowing down, of connecting in. So I feel like this collective, that would be something that you've sort of done last year. Slow down. slow down, seek peace, seek calmness, right? And we find that in nature. All right, I usually would do one more deck, but I'm guided to skip that because we've been sort of talking a lot. It's been a long 2025. I sort of want to move already to guidance for 2026, and that's when we're going to do that other deck, Worry Not. All right, it may be a long reading, but I mean, I always say it's, they're long with me because I'm thorough, okay? I'm going to give you all the messages that I'm hearing from your guides. All right, let's start from a little highlight for 2026. Guides, please come forth with your important messages. What is it that you want this beautiful person watching to focus on in 2026? What do you want them to focus on? We have compassion, you guys, confirmation. We have compassion and we have pause, which means that you are on the right track, okay? Whatever you were doing, whatever you started tapping into in that 2025, watch the previous part. Compassion was a big thing. Understanding compassion, unboxing compassion, embodying compassion, learning compassion, right? It was an may you tend to the suffering. Important thing. Seeing yourself in another. No one, and I say this all the time because I see this nonsense, shallow level, new age crap, spirituality everywhere. If you do not see yourself in another, no matter how evil you think they are, how cruel, low vibrational you think, if you don't see yourself in another with compassion, side note again, it doesn't mean not having boundaries, it doesn't mean accepting, it doesn't mean not seeing certain things, right? But if you judge, if you point fingers, if you call names, narcissist, pig, disgusting, right? If you do not call yourself freaking spiritual. Spirituality, again, is not about burning sage. It's about standing in a sight of your spirit. Spirit is eternal. Spirit is light. Spirit is compassion, forgiveness, and kindness. We all struggle daily. But if you don't understand that, and this collective, that would be something that you understand. You struggle still. You struggle and it's okay. You still have those triggers. You still have those emotions. People piss me off too. Okay? It's okay. It's all good. I always say this to you guys. Even Joshua had his moments. Remember that story about when he entered the temple and he started what the hell is this? In the house of my father. We all have our moments because we have this physical ego. And this journey is not about hating and completely removing. This is why I always say to you guys, there is no such thing as ego death. Ego doesn't die and ego's not supposed to die. We're supposed to release it. Release it. Raise the level of the ego to enough level so it can blend with our consciousness, release to its guidance, release to the guidance of a spirit, and release to the guidance of a soul. But as long as we're in this flesh body, we're going to have emotions, we're going to struggle, we're going to have some triggers. But the key is to within you, handle it with love, with compassion, with peace within, finding your peace within. So carry on. Whatever you're doing, you're on the right track. Finding compassion. We have heard, may your brave call be carried in the wind. What I was hearing with this one, you guys, is that you would have this collective a need within you to be heard, to be understood. This is why it's coming to my mind that call in your tribe, right? That you want to call in your tribe because you want to feel understood, you want to feel heard, you want to feel like you're amongst people that vibe the same frequency, and it's all beautiful and we all want it and we all need it. But again, remember, go back to what you already want. No, we've mentioned this, those are your first card. Wholeness within. Hear yourself. Hear yourself. A couple of weeks ago, I've posted sort of a shadow work practice So you can find it on my social media, how to sit with yourself, how to hear yourself, your shadows, your wounds, your triggers. Hear yourself. We have pause, which is a good thing, and we have beauty as well. There is this energy for your next year to continue to sit in that stillness. I'm hearing in presence, in moment of now, in gratitude, in frequency of gratitude. I'm hearing me, myself, and I feel this collective. I get that you want love. I get that you want partnership, companionship. But next year, I feel this already. We're going to tap into more cards. But this year is for you, me, myself, and I, to be with you. If you were sitting here on a one-on-one session, we would obviously go deeper. I would feel your energy more precisely because it's a little bit different for a collective. But I would most probably guide you guys to do a year of solitude, to do a year of no dating, year of maybe celibacy even. I have this beautiful 6 months sacral program. You can learn about it on my website in the section of healing experiences. I think I talked about this and that video is pinned to my Instagram as well. It's a 6 months program to completely release the past, to dissolve the cords, to return to innocence. It's a truly beautiful program, and I think it would be highly beneficial for this collective, because sometimes we seek for something, we long for something, and we get lost in that search, and we make mistakes. We swayed away from our true journey, and until we find everything that we search for within, it will never in its fullness and in its divinity manifest itself in the external world. All right, I want to do 4 of these as well, and then we're going to tap into details of your next year. Awakening! Ding, 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 ding! Winner, winner, chicken dinner! Confirmation! Yes, we knew this. You're awakening. All right. All right. Woo! I got chills. What do we have in here? What do we have in... I just looked at this. I rarely look at the details of these cards because they have really... I look at Petra. Maybe you always wanted to go to Jordan. Maybe you went to Jordan. Petra's beautiful. Awakening, energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration. Yes, you are awakening to the truths of life, to the meaning of life. You are being upgraded. It's going to be a magical year. Again, I say this to you guys, if that's the first video you're watching, I would recommend, if it resonates, to go to the previous reading that I did for this collective. And you are in a moment of choice. Maybe you've already taken that choice. Maybe you're still a little bit hesitant. But if you take the right choice, the choice rooted in love, if you dedicate this year, this future year, to you, yourself, and me, myself, and I, right? Me. Cleansing, rejuvenating, awakening. Oh, magical energy. You're going to become someone so beautiful. You really are beautiful and magical. Imrama, where are you being called to journey to? You are being called to embark on a journey. You are being called to embark on a journey. Maybe this journey should start with a little trip. Sometimes I always say this to you guys, people underestimate the beauty of actual physical relocation, right? Overall, ultimately, all these things are permission slips, right? And I always say to you guys, people sometimes travel to Africa, to the jungle, right? To the Mount Everest and whatever it is that they want to conquer, they want to go deeper, right? But the most important journey we do is the journey from our head to our heart. The most important journey of our lifetime, if not lifetimes, from head to heart, and stay on the level of the heart. But sometimes, similarly, I always say this to you guys, we don't need meditation, we don't need rituals. They are permission slips. They're things that help us to set our body, that physical body. It's always the body, it's always the physical existence, the mind that is the blocker. Right? So when we train ourselves enough, we no longer need these things, these practices, right? But they're here for us. So sometimes that travel can be a beautiful thing to start fresh, to go on. Maybe that's what you should do in January. So if you're going to pull, we're going to do your January. If you're going to pull the World card, that's what I'm hearing. It's your confirmation and your sign. Maybe you should go on a solo travel. So if Jordan is something that is very far away from you, I'm not encouraging you to do that, but if it was on your mind, that's definitely your confirmation. So it depends on your resources, your life situation. If all you can allow yourself is maybe like a little weekend trip in the mountains in nature, that's also beautiful. But go for it. Minimum, I would say 3 to 4 days, up to like couple of weeks if you can, whatever you can allow yourself, whatever calls you. Maybe there's some place that you always wanted to go and you always dreamed of visiting. But don't listen to that mainstream, like immediately when we say that, people think about like eat, pray, love, Bali, or like whatever, right? Don't. Where your heart calls you. Maybe your heart calls you to that Jordan or Petra. Maybe your heart calls you to a place that your soul remembers from a previous lifetime, and it's going to trigger something within you. So don't go into that BS new age liberation kind of just go with your heart. Go with your heart. We have Lemuria, creating heaven on earth. It's happening. You're going to be building it for yourself because you're going to be building it within, that heaven on earth. And we have boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? Better boundaries. Maybe boundaries is something that you're going to be learning. I always educate you guys about boundaries, and we've mentioned, there's a reason I've mentioned this to you a little bit when we were talking about that compassion, right? Because having compassion, seeing yourself in another without petty, but with equality, right? I see you, brother. I feel you, sister, right? I understand. Again, it takes a victim to create a victim, and all that. It's all beautiful. That embodiment of love and compassion and so on and so forth. It's all beautiful, but we have to remember that there's the other side of the coin. Being compassionate doesn't mean not having boundaries. Doesn't mean allowing people to treat us like doormat. It just means that when we create that boundary, we're not saying you stupid fucking narcissist, right? But we're like, listen, no, it ain't gonna fly. You have no power over me. You cannot trigger me. Your words don't affect me because I have done inner work. I will not allow your energy in your mind because it doesn't resonate. But with love and light, F off. Okay, that's the energy. Boundaries are energetic shields around our persona. As we discover our truth, our authentic self, as we start to love ourselves, that shield is being raised automatically. It costs us zero effort to have those boundaries when we truly love who we are and understand who we are. I feel that may be something that you're going to be learning next year, because there is some self-discovery still for this collective. All right, beautiful. Let's go back to the same oracle cards to ask what will be your energy for the next year. 2026, what's coming? What will be your ruling emotion that we're going to have to understand? I feel like we're going in that direction. Okay, we have empathy, which is beautiful because empathy, number 12, empathy goes with compassion, right? They're two different things, two different concepts. We have to understand that clearly. Being an empath doesn't mean that you have compassion, and having compassion doesn't mean that you are an empath. I recently also done a video about empathy, deep dive. So if you're interested, you can watch that. So perhaps it's actually something that you should do, and it will help you out. But maybe there will be things that they will be training you, they will be showing you, they will be teaching you to have that empathy, to really feel, right? There's a reason I said that. Like, I feel you, I hear you, right? Towards yourself as well. We have self-awareness, number 38. And this one I do want to read. There is no healing without self-awareness. Through diving deeper into our own inner world, we understand human nature. We are not able to connect the dots between our own patterns. I feel for this collective, all this thing about empathy forgiveness, human nature, compassion. Maybe part of your path one day will be to work with people, or maybe not even as I sometimes say this to you guys, the mission is not necessarily like an occupation, but maybe you will really have to that's your fulfillment, that's your mission, to see others, to understand others, to hear others. Maybe work as a healer, as a spiritual teacher, as a therapist, as a trauma recovery therapist, I'm hearing as well, or a teacher. Maybe you hold that space for others one day, because these are obviously qualities that we have within you. This is like a very intense, deep spiritual work. So maybe they're preparing you for something, to have empathy, compassion, self-awareness. And I always say this to you guys, if we ever going to help others, people sometimes are so eager to help. What do I do for others? Because they have those gifts and those qualities. What do I do? First thing that you have to do, brother, is to understand yourself, to heal yourself, right? Because through self-work, deep work, inner work, we understand human nature, because we are human. We all embody the same core wounds in different spectrum. I always say this to you guys, in different circumstances. We all like to believe that our stories are so unique and they're so like one of a kind, but we all go through the same. Why on earth do you think that collectives are, can resonate with so many people? Because we have same core wounds, and it's okay. We're all unique sovereign beings, okay? We all have our own unique frequency. We all have that one thing that we can bring to this world that no one else can. No one else. But when it comes to life journey, when it comes to core wounds, our ego, our physical trauma, we go through very similar experiences and similar paths. So when we dive deeper into ourselves, into the darkness within, into the light that resides within, we understand people and we understand them better. We have courage and we have faith. That's really, truly beautiful energy as well. Number 21, number 17. We have air and fire energy here. What I'm hearing with this, you guys, is that there are things that you dream about. There are things that you dream of. There are things that you want to explore. And everything that I've said right now, it seems like this journey is so amazing, like discovery, self-discovery, travel, me, myself, and I. But it's going to be full of darkness. It's going to be full of gunk that will come out of you. It's going to be full of challenges. It's going to be full of loneliness and solitude, because you have to embark that deep of a healing. I always say this. It is impossible, and I don't care what anyone says. If you're someone that you met your soulmate when you were young and you're still with that soulmate in the relationship, it means that deep healing is not for you in this lifetime. And I don't care what anyone says. That true, deep, raw, inner healing, we go in there into all the gunk. We clear the lifetimes. We clear the timelines. It's a journey of solitude. And part of this journey, when we're ready, there's a moment in divine timing when we can be aligned with our divine counterpart partner. And we can continue that journey together. We can explore together. But in order to, when we talk about that real awakening, it's a journey of solitude. It's a journey of solitude. So there's going to be challenges. You're going to feel like you're on your own. You're never truly alone. The universe is within you, right? But I feel like they're really wanting you to remember those two things. Maybe write them down in a journal, or put it on your fridge. Courage and faith. Have faith that we are guiding you where you need to venture. Have faith that you are being protected, you are being guided, that we are that lighthouse for you to go where you need to be. And have courage. It ain't going to be easy. I do want to read through this courage for you. Courage is not a virtue of those that don't know fear. On the contrary, the more fearful you are, and you have that fear, there are things that you're afraid of. The more fearful you are, the more courage it requires to take action. Courageous people don't fear failure or pain. They are wise enough to know that you will never learn to walk without falling first. And that's that 5 of Swords that we're talking about. You have to fall. You have to sometimes lose. You have to walk away as the one that was dumped, the one that was fired, the one that was ignored, the one that was ghosted. So what? So what, you guys? It's our ego. When we are courageous, we treasure our dreams more than our doubts. We follow frequency of love instead of submitting into fear or doubt. It's empowering quality that enables us to master any life situation. When we are wounded, we may confuse courage with reckless or bravado behavior. There is no courage without maturity. True courage is one of the greatest virtues. Make sure you are not acting in search for validation or applause. Remember what we said about the journey of King of Wands? Maybe you were that bravado. Maybe you were that bit of a reckless when you were younger. And now you're understanding that doing those reckless things is not courage. True courage, you guys, in life, it's not jumping off a parachute. True courage is looking your shadows in the eye and facing them and loving them. True courage is looking in the eyes of someone who has done you so much pain and say, I forgive you because I understand. True courage is to find yourself in a moment of discomfort because you don't want to settle. You want to fight for more. You want to fight for the biggest prize, for the highest, most aligned timeline. True courage is to walk away and to say it out loud. I was dumped. I am hurt. I feel humiliated. I was cheated on. I was fired. I was ghosted, right? And I know it has nothing to do with me. It's a lesson. And I'm going to be a winner in that lesson. All right, ruling energy next year. I'm loving this year for you. I'm so excited to tap into more readings for this collective for next year. Such a beautiful moment of your life. All right, one more. I feel your spirits. I hear it. All right. Exactly everything that I said. Wheel of Fortune, destiny. Okay. This is how it came through, right? It doesn't really matter. So your first card, we have 8 of Cups, and in this specific deck, it's a beautiful energy because it talks about letting go, moving on, leaving the past behind, and more than anything, getting out of your comfort zone, right? I feel like this year will bring a lot of challenges and you will feel uncomfortable many times. You will feel, remember, courage and faith, courage and faith, courage and faith. I don't know why I'm hearing Alice in Wonderland. Maybe you like that story. Maybe you resonate with it. Maybe you have like a tattoo or like a mug. I don't know why I'm seeing like a mug with like Alice in Wonderland. But you're gonna venture to the unknown, right? It's that, you know that saying, what's the saying, that in order to explore the vast of the ocean, we have to be courageous enough or not afraid to lose the sight of shore, right? That's that. In order to build your true wholeness, your true stability, true inner peace, you have to have that moment when you're going to be floating around with absolutely no ground underneath. That's what I'm hearing. We have temperance, and temperance is on top of self-awareness. It's deep healing. It's inner balancing of that ego and that soul that they're in conflict for most people. I'm hearing for this collective, I would really recommend for you for next year to embark on the journey of healing. So find yourself a healer, whatever you resonate with. Different people resonate with different, with different things. You guys know that as a spiritual teacher and someone who is who I am, I'm not a fan of therapy. Therapy is something that addresses the mind. Therapy is something, that's why I would want to say to you, find yourself a spiritual teacher. But many people are on a level of the mind and the ego. So obviously a good therapist is better than nothing. But it will never help you to discover the inner magic, because they based on, first of all, everything that was created on something that is low vibrational, as modern therapy was created. I don't believe in it. This is not channel, this is my personal truth, right? If you want therapy, do therapy. Just make sure you find yourself a good, open-minded, compassionate therapist that will resonate. But I would recommend more to this collective to find yourself a healer, whether that's a reader and a shadow worker like myself, or a shamanic healer, energy, whatever you resonate with, whatever you will be guided towards. But embark on that journey of healing. You may